Sorry about the delay in getting this video up. I wanted to do it sooner, but I've been a little bit busy. But now that's done, let's tell you what's happened. The last time out, I went to Thruxton to watch the BTCC with Matt Neal, and I discovered there that I wasn't too old to be a racing driver at all. Although he did point out things aren't quite what they used to be.
You know, some of these modern cars have got so much download data. They know if you do anything in there. You know, you can't get away with shit these days. I always remember when I started, the rev counter was a tacho, and with a red needle on it. You over revved it, it pushed the red needle up, and they would see where you revved it to. But they always knew if you'd over revved it, because on the slowing down lap, you'd come in and your belts would be loose. Because on the slowing down lap, you'd loosen your belt so you could reset the tacho. And it was reading about 4,000. They go, no. So, but yeah, it's a bit more Big Brother watching you these days.
That was it, I thought. Been to a racetrack, I won't get to go to a racetrack again. What am I going to do for the next video? But then something magical happened. 2 separate people contacted me and said, why don't you come and watch the VW Racing Cup at Silverstone? Seeing as this is the scholarship I'm trying to win, I thought that'd be a great idea. So I packed my new wife and 2 kids into the car, and I took them to Silverstone. I figured we'd have a lovely day. What could possibly go wrong? One of the people to invite me to Silverstone was the lady that shot this video of last year's scholarship winner, Toby Davis. And the reason she was so close is she's his mum, Emma. She said, why don't you come and have a look round? So we went and met Emma and Toby. Here they are.
There's a couple of fantastic photos of us on Facebook, actually.
Yeah. Oh, very emotional moment, wasn't it? Yeah.
When you won?
When he won, yeah. What we thought was a private moment, everybody was photographed. A bit of an emotional moment, didn't we, Toby?
To be fair, I mean, there's no better opportunity than this in motorsport, and to have won a race as well. It's just something that's really the absolute peak.
It's nice, isn't it? Isn't that nice? Not only was Toby's mum there, but his brother was too, so we met him.
This is my brother Ben. Ben did Clio's last year just for one race here, actually.
So seeing as Ben's no stranger to a racing car, I thought I'd ask him if he'd ever considered the scholarship.
I entered. He didn't even enter.
What?
You haven't heard this story?
No, I haven't heard this story.
I entered, and then Tony was like, you've done Clio's, can't really let you in. So I was like, all right then, do you mind? Toby just takes my place. I paid the entry.
I still owe money. Yeah, I still owe money. I literally didn't have the cash
racing
to do it.
And I'm not. So yeah, it's great.
Yes, great. Yeah. Christmas is going to be quiet around your house.
Turns out it's not awkward at all. Having a brother with some previous experience in tin tops is actually pretty useful.
My brother is my my driving coach because he can see things that I'm. Yeah.
Of course.
Ben relies on data.
Well, you don't think, do you? You just get in the car and drive it. You don't think about what you're doing at all.
No.
So you'd say it's almost like nature versus nurture in a strange way. Like you do it through an instinct, but you do it because you've learnt to do something.
Yeah, I mean, we're thankfully naturally pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
I'd like to think.
Your head's still fitting that hat.
What I love about that is Ben is there to keep Toby grounded in a way that only a brother can. Then I'm aware of this guy that's standing to my right, and it's like this wise man, and it turns out that that's Toby and Ben's dad. A bit shy, doesn't want to be on the camera, but it's a shame because he's got some real insight into what it's like to have 2 sons that like driving cars.
They do have completely different driving styles.
I was going to say, as their dad, you can see that.
Well, he's always on the ragged edge with the tail hanging out in the cars, and he just drives smoothly, and they both very
same
quick.
time.
It's just a completely different way of going through all the corners.
And do their driving styles match their living styles? Would you say that Toby lives his life on the ragged edge?
Well, I guess I was going to say.
Be careful now.
Is one of them more untidy than the other?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Toby's an untidy driver.
I think in terms of lifestyle, it couldn't really be more different.
Yeah.
I currently live with a group of lads in Cardiff in a well, it doesn't have running water at the moment. That kind of sums up the house, really. And
Ben's house is very tidy.
Ben lives with his girlfriend on the Blenheim Palace estate in a little thatched cottage.
Well, I can safely say from that if I do have a driving style that matches my life, mine's going to be ragged and in debt. I think that's how it's going to work.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm massively in debt.
What a great family and a worthy winner. So it's at this point I decided to learn from them and try and spend the day with my family. Use this as a real bonding experience. So I think, first of all, I know that they all really enjoy shopping, and there is a shop in Silverstone, but it's not like a normal shop. In Silverstone, they've got other cool stuff in the shops too. It's not just stuff you can buy. There's like this cool Cosworth engine. Now I'm of a certain age, so I remember the Ford Sierra Cosworth. So all of these things are pretty important to me. So I film this stuff, and I'm really having a good time, and I can tell the girls are too. But I managed to tear the girls away from the shop because they seem to be getting a little overexcited, and we go off to meet the other person that said I should come to Silverstone and say hi, and it's this guy, Nick. Now, Nick works for SWR, which are a Formula 3 championship team. Not only is he a great guy, but Nick then invites me to go behind the road. He shows me all the stuff, and it's really great. I get really close to like a genuine racing car. But why is this relevant? I'll tell you why this is relevant, because the Formula 3 cars and all the GT cars share the weekend with the VW Racing Cup cars, and they're like a little extended family, so they go to a lot of the circuits together. And why is this really relevant? Well, at this weekend it's super relevant because the Team Hard GT4 wins its maiden race. And that's even more relevant because it was driven by two drivers, one of whom was Aaron Mason. Now, and Aaron competed in the VW Cup before this. So what I'm essentially saying is not only is this scholarship a great prize, but it's also a springboard into other Formula of Motorsport, which is pretty special, really. But I become aware that the kids are getting a little overexcited again, and they're thinking, hey, hang on a minute, Dad. Cool your jets, I know you're having fun, but there's a race we need to get to. So I calm them down again, and off we go. We head off to the stands so I can get to watch my first VW Racing Cup race. But literally, at this point, the heavens open, and it is raining cats and dog. But no safety car start for these plucky peddlers, and they're driving around in, I cannot tell you how wet it is. I'd have probably pulled over at the side of the road if I was driving down the M3, but they're having it in the wet. Yeah, I think they made it. That's really terrifying. Did you see them all squish? I think I've changed my mind. I like the noise. The noise here does look a bit oily. I think that's why I like it so much. It just looks a bit oily. It's all about elbows. I like that.
You don't look oily at all.
So after such a wet race, I think it's vital to show the girls how important tyres are. Now, I did take a few too many pictures of tyres in the last video, I'm aware of that, but I think they're just they're the best things to film at a racetrack. And as you can see, the girls were pretty excited too. So after that, we head back to the Team Hard section of the paddock, try and get a feel for what the race was like. But what we didn't see was Domani Meccano has had a crash, and here it is. Pretty terrifying stuff, but he's all right. When I was at Thruxton, they had a crash. Well, they do. They go to the truck full of spares, they pull out some new ones, chuck them on. Yeah, it's expensive, but they got bundles of that stuff. Not so here. How do you replace a bumper and the front half of your car when there's no spares? How do you do that? You pilfer them from somebody else's car. So who brings a car to a racetrack and then let somebody pilfer all the bits to race around? Now, it probably won't come as a surprise to find out that it's actually Team Hard boss and all-round hero and nice guy, Tony Gillam, has decided to lend Domani the front half of his car so he can drive around in the second race of the day. What a nice guy. Now, the girls at this point are clearly overwhelmed by this beautiful gesture, but I can see that they're probably a little bit hungry, so we go and get some food in the cafe. Now, it's been raining on and off all day, really chucking it down. So it's so hard that you think it's not going to rain. It can't rain anymore. And then... And the rest of the day's racing was abandoned quite wisely. As you can imagine, the girls were devastated. I could barely tear them away. And they didn't say much about it afterwards. They're probably a bit shell-shocked and disappointed. But maybe I'll take them to another racetrack soon, just so they get to see the whole day. Wait, I forgot something. I met the guy. You know, the happiest man in motorsport. Keenan Joel. And let me tell you, that boy's onboard camera is the gift that just keeps on giving. Check this out.
As he went out, he just bit the throttle on cold tyres on slicks, and he just spun out. I couldn't. Just it tickled me a little bit. So shouldn't. It's bad, really, but
God, I love that guy.
Welcome to touring cars.